Hey guys, my name's Anthony, and today we're going to look at all the Easter eggs in Battlefield 4. And there's a lot. Now this is a video I've been wanting to make for quite a while, but ever since Battlefield 4 launched, there has been tons of Easter eggs added to each DLC map pack and constant hunts for the more well-hidden ones. But now that the Final Stand DLC is out and most of the major Easter eggs have been found, I think it's time. And as I say this, DICE is probably cooking up some new Easter egg in a patch or something, but here we go. So let's get started with a few single-player Easter eggs and get those out of the way, because most of the good stuff is in the multiplayer, just like the game. First off, in the second mission of the campaign, Shanghai, several Easter eggs can be found. In the van, you can see a dinosaur toy hanging from the mirror. This is a reference to Battlefield 3, where a character also had a toy dinosaur, and to the Battlefield series' general tease of putting dinosaurs in the game. Oh, is that dinosaur? I think that's dinosaur. A reference to Mirror's Edge can be found when entering the building on the same mission. Mirror's Edge is a game also developed by DICE, and a TV displays an ad for the main character Faith's shoes. Behind the bars, you can see bottles referencing other DICE projects and game engines. And finally, in Shanghai, if you wait to call the elevator, Pac and Irish will talk about fortune cookies in bed.
In bed. That doesn't work, Irish.
Now, my favorite single-player Easter egg is a reference to the Battlefield Friends series from Hank and Jed and Machinima. The series, which started in 2012, is about a group of friends and their experiences in Battlefield. Because of the show's popularity within the Battlefield community, DICE decided to include their voices in the single-player as an Easter egg. So this might be my favorite Easter egg because I might have been there when they were recording it, and I might be in the credits because I was there, and... Yes, I'm biased, I get it, but still, it's a cool Easter egg. On the mission Toshgard, there is a part where you reach an outpost and have to walk past a few groups of soldiers. If you stand by them, they will each have a conversation, which are some improv bits from the voice actors behind Battlefield Friends.
We're moving rocks. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's not awesome. This is the worst thing ever.
Most people know this moment in the game, but there's actually two places where Battlefield Friends conversations can be found. Earlier in the game, when you wake up on the ship, you can leave your room, take your first left, and then wait at the first door on your left. After a bit, the characters will start talking to each other about food.
Give me some pizza. Yeah, look, if this was like some franchise pizza, you could have all of it. But this was mom's pizza.
So single player wasn't too eventful, but that's because DICE has excelled at making multiplayer Easter eggs a big part of the Battlefield community. Huge groups of people have scoured every corner of every map for every little thing, and they found some really awesome stuff. Let's start with the base game first, that sweet, yummy, vanilla-flavored game. On Siege of Shanghai, these billboards can be seen around the city, and are a reference to the Yao Ming bitch please meme on the internet. On the same level, there is also a building labeled the Soder Building, which is a reference to Södermalm, Stockholm, where the DICE offices are located. Right there. In levels where pages are littered on the ground, you can read text from the Frostbite 3 Wikipedia page that lists several features of the engine Battlefield 4 runs on. Boxes that say Fragile on them have stickers that say, "This is a box." And inside the boxes, smaller boxes can be found that say Onion Springs. On some maps, boxes can be found that once opened display a shipping label that says Visceral EA, which was most likely a reference to Visceral working on the next installment of the Battlefield series, Battlefield Hardline. And yet another box Easter egg can be found on boxes labeled ESID Shipping. Now this one took me a while to find, but after staring at it long enough and you move a couple of things around and littered around certain maps, Battlefield 3 hoodies can be found that'll keep you nice and warm. And on maps that have water containers around, the numbers 2143 can be found, which is most likely a nod to the Battlefield game 2142. MCOMs in the game mode Rush have a few hidden things, but best of all is this binary code that when converted into text says, "See, I knew you would try to translate this. Yes, this is a message from the future. You were right about everything." Clever gal, DICE. Clever gal. One of my favorite Easter eggs to show people is on Dawnbreaker, here on the map. Behind a couple of wooden pallets, you can find a little pea shooter from the game Plants vs. Zombies, which is also made by EA. Another one of my favorites is the exploding ship on Hainan Resort. If you get on the rooftop here and shoot at the little light inside the ship, it will cause a massive explosion, sending parts of the ship flying everywhere. On Goldmud Railway, a savage beast is lurking in the mountains. Grab a rocket launcher and head over to this position where you will see another light on the mountainside. Shoot a rocket at the light and you will hear this sound. I guess the Yeti doesn't like getting hit by rockets, and I don't blame him. If you try this Easter egg, you're a terrible, terrible person. On the map Rogue Transmission, you can find two Easter eggs regarding dinosaurs. You can find a nod to Jurassic Park. Remember when they fed that goat to the T-Rex? Well, on the edge of the map, you can find a cage with a dead goat, similar to that scene in the movie. The other one was a bit harder to find, with people searching high and low, but eventually it was discovered. By pressing these two buttons on the map, you can reveal a dinosaur in the forest. Trees start to shake, and a loud roar of dinosaur-like origin can be heard. And the final Easter egg in the vanilla game can be found on the map Flood Zone. In this little shack, you can find a little basket with a little sign that says Easter eggs. Look at Battlefield getting all meta on us. Just throw some glasses on there and a scarf and oh yeah, Battlefield's a hipster. So with the main game out of the way, let's move on to the DLC, because just like adding new maps, DICE also added new Easter eggs. The first DLC pack was China Rising, adding the maps Altai Range, Dragon Pass, Gillian Peak, and Silk Road. Across all the maps, little Chinese warrior statues can be found just hanging out and trying to use the Force. Anyway, here's a montage showing all the warrior statue locations, and I'll play some music, so if you've already seen these, you can just take a minute to rave out. You might have noticed that the Chinese warriors have these little dots on their legs. That's actually part of this super complicated Easter egg called the Phantom Easter egg, which I've decided to give its own section at the end of the video. So hold tight on that, and here's more Easter eggs. The next DLC pack was Second Assault, which featured remakes of old Battlefield maps: Caspian Border, Gulf of Oman, Operation Firestorm, and Operation Metro. In Caspian Border, a cutesy-wootsy little teddy bear can be found on the entrance blocking thing near D. Pressing the buttons a bunch of times, the little bear will appear on this spike, and it looks like the poor little guy's been stabbed through the heart. I say a few times because I literally pressed this button a million times and eventually got the damn thing to appear, so good luck. In Operation Metro, a couple of things can be found. On the computer keyboards around the map, you can find some of the keys have been changed to tiny little Frostbite logos. So tiny. And if this photo booth hasn't been blown up yet, you can step inside, interact with it, and have a little photo op in Battlefield. And on the map Gulf of Oman, you can get in this elevator and hear the Battlefield 2 main menu theme song. Oh, the memories. After Second Assault, we got Naval Strike, which featured Lost Islands, Nansha Strike, Wave Breaker, and Operation Mortar. On Nansha Strike, there is this door in this dark, wet, nasty hallway that will talk to you. If you stand there long enough, the camera next to the door will look at you, and then you will hear a voice say, "Stay away." And leave this place. Spooky! It is actually kind of creepy. Also on the map Lost Island, another part of the Phantom Easter egg can be found, but we'll get to that in a bit. Now, the biggest Easter egg in the game can be found on the Naval Strike map, Nansha Strike. And when I say big, I mean big. The big Easter egg is a beast from the Cenozoic period. That's right, the one and only Megalodon! Yes, if 10 people from either team gather around this buoy and wait a little bit, a giant shark, or Megalodon, will come out of the water and kill everyone. This is another Easter egg inspired by the Battlefield Friends web series. In a special Battlefield Friends episode made for the release of Battlefield 4, one of the show's main characters jokes that his teammates should get out of the water because there's Megalodons in there. After that, DICE decided to include the shark in a later DLC. It's one of my favorites, not only because it's outrageously huge, but because it brings people together. There's been plenty of times I've hung out with people around the buoy who are on the other team, and it was surreal. It showed how in times of great adversity, the human race can pull together as one. Whether you're baby blue or orange, or purple and red if you're colorblind, we can work together. DICE, the true embodiment of the American dream. Hey, they're from Sweden. They're from Sweden. Fuck. Okay, Dragon's Teeth DLC. This one included Lymphony Garden, Pearl Market, Propaganda, and Sunken Dragon. On Pearl Market, jumping down on the sign reveals a room of dinosaur toys and rubber duckies. I love rubber duckies. Fun fact, I have 2 rubber duckies in my shower. No joke, there they are. Those are my ducks. Under the water in the map Sunken Dragon, you can find the skull of a dinosaur under the water. Also, I get the name, Sunken Dragon, T-Rex, kind of the dragon, get it? On Lymphony Garden, you can rock out with this little radio, but only if you are wearing the franchise veteran dog tag. Once equipped, the radio will play a few Battlefield 1942 theme songs. Now the final DLC pack for Battlefield 4, at least at the time of making this video, is Final Stand. It says final right in the name, so yeah. This features the maps Giants of Karelia, Hammerhead, Hangar 21, and Operation Whiteout. Between you and me, I think Final Stand was made to test out a bunch of Battlefront stuff. Look, it's all futuristic, it has hover tanks and stuff. They had to be testing out Hawk levels. Operation Whiteout has an Easter egg that's actually useful in gameplay. Around the map, you can find some icicles that you can interact with and use as a knife. Another knife Easter egg was also added with this DLC in the form of the C-100 knife. This is another reference to Battlefield friends. In the show, there is a character named Colonel 100 who is so good, he unlocks a bipod for his knife. It's only fitting then that the C-100 is actually a knife with a bipod on it. One of the cutest little Easter eggs, yes, cute, is this small dinosaur snowman attacking a little snow city on the map Hammerhead. Don't worry, city, I'll save you. The map Giants of Karelia is based around a factory that creates mechs, so it only makes sense that a little mech Easter egg can be found. On the mountainside, you can find a tiny little mech just hanging out on a cliff, and if you interact with it, it makes a little noise. Aww. And finally, on every map, little blinking lights and futuristic dog tags can be found as part of the super secret Phantom Easter egg. So let's jump into that. The Phantom Easter egg is one of the most convoluted and complex Easter eggs in all of gaming, and whether or not it paid off in the end is up to you, but, oh, screw this. So yes, the Phantom Initiative is this super complicated Easter egg that took place over multiple DLC packs, and I decided to give it its own section here to try and explain it all. If you want more details, go check out all of the Jack Frag videos on it because he goes into super detail on how every little piece was found, but here's a little wrap up of it. The Phantom Easter egg. Woo! So China Rising, Battlefield 4's first DLC comes out, and this mysterious dog tag appears in everyone's battle log. It's called the Phantom Prospect. It's then discovered in the bottom left of the leaderboard screen. You can see a little icon that's like the Phantom Prospect design. Once clicked, it brings up a bunch of command prompt text and asks for a password. So now people start looking for a password. What could it be? Where is it? Well, remember those Chinese warrior statues we found before? Well, on each of them, a group of dots can be found that correlates with a letter in the alphabet. When arranged correctly, the letters spell out the phrase, bump in the night, which is a reference to a mission in Medal of Honor Warfighter, and also the first password of the Phantom Easter egg. Once entered, the screen loads up Phase 2, and we wait for the next password in another DLC. A few months later, in the Naval Strike DLC, a new clue is found in the form of a locker with the name Kevin Simpson 1942 on it. It was discovered that going to kevinsimpson1942.com would actually bring up a website with this picture of someone's attic and an ambient sound playing in the background. Now this is when stuff gets really crazy. It was discovered that the ambient sound on the website could be downloaded and turned into a spectrogram, which is
a visual representation of the spectrum of frequencies in a sound or other signal as they vary with time and some other variables.
In the spectrogram, the word epic could be found, and geez, that's one hell of a way to hide a clue. So epic is our first word of the password. Next, we have a bunch of hints. First, this bottle has the number 500 on it, which is the Roman numeral number for D. There is a little dot dash dot on this wood frame here, which is Morse code for R. At the top of the picture, there is a weird shaped M that is actually an E from the font Wingdings. The most notable one is a large A made out of this ladder and, something. And the final letter is this Y-looking thing on the ladder, which is actually the Viking rune symbol for M. So that makes the second word of the password Dream. I told you this got stupidly complicated. For the final part of this password, you look to the Kevin Simpson 1942 Battlelog account. The last word's hints were these planets, or worlds, in his profile picture. So with that, the password is Epic Dream Worlds. You enter that and move on to Phase 3. I wish I could say it gets simpler from here, but nope, more convoluted Easter eggs! Okay, so on the Dragon's Teeth DLC maps, a bunch of symbols are found that are pictograms. When you put these pictograms in a 64 hexagram lookup table, because everyone's got one of those, it gives you the numbers 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, and 21. Now this next part was so complicated with polynomials and complex math equations, it makes my head want to explode. So basically, let's just say some really smart people did some really smart math and figured out that the password is
24344241893.
So on to the Final Stand DLC and the end of the Phantom Easter egg. This is it. All these secrets and puzzles to unlock the super secret, never before seen, it's the Phantom Bow. You know what it is. If not, yes, all this was leading up to finding the super secret hidden weapon, the Phantom Bow. But we're not quite done yet because there's another complicated puzzle to unlock the thing. So first, an open elevator was found on the map Hangar 21. It turns out you needed 4 people to make the elevator work, and each of them needed to be wearing a different dog tag from the Final Stand DLC. Once in the elevator with all 4 people, the elevator will allow you to press its button and go down. Once down there will be this room with a force field and a keypad that obviously needs a key code. So how do we get that code? Here we go again. So on the Final Stand maps, there is Russian Morse code being broadcast in specific locations. Each of these gives us numbers which in order are
1290, 429, 3976, 48, and 970.
And this is the code for the keypad. Put that in, walk in the room, and grab that bow. It's yours. Most people in the Battlefield community felt the Phantom Bow didn't live up to the hype, and honestly, I'm more impressed by the hunt than the weapon itself. The fact that the community came together to find all these hints and secrets is amazing, and probably more memorable than the end result. So there you have it, all the Battlefield 4 Easter eggs in one neat little package. Keep an eye out while you guys are playing Battlefield 4, and you'll see these things pop up all over the place now. As I've been working on this video, every time I play, I'm on Twitch, I'm like, hey, guys, look, there's an Easter egg. Oh, and there's another one, and there's that one, and there's that one. So yeah, keep an eye out for them. If you guys like this video, please hit that like button to support the show, and subscribe to the channel if you're not. Also, check us out on Twitch, where we live stream all the time. I'd love to meet you guys in person on there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.